Low retail inflation means that the prices of goods and services are not increasing as fast as they used to. This can have both positive and negative effects on your diet and savings. On the positive side, low retail inflation means lower prices for food items, especially for basic commodities like cereals, sugar, and oils. This can help you save money on your grocery bills and have more disposable income to spend on other things. You may also be able to afford more nutritious foods, such as fruits and vegetables, dairy products, and lean meats, which can improve your health and well-being. On the negative side, low retail inflation can also discourage you from making healthy diet choices and nutrition. This is because some food producers may use the lower ingredient prices as an opportunity to raise their prices above what they need to cover their costs and boost their profits. This can make some processed foods, sweets, and beverages more expensive than they should be, and create a distorted price signal for consumers. You may end up paying more for foods that are high in calories, fat, sugar, and salt, and less for foods that are rich in vitamins, minerals, and fiber. This can lead to overconsumption of unhealthy foods and underconsumption of healthy foods, which can increase your risk of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and other chronic conditions. Therefore, low retail inflation does not necessarily mean that you can eat better and save more. You still need to be mindful of the quality and quantity of the foods you consume, and compare the prices of different food items based on their nutritional value. You may also want to look for ways to reduce your food waste, such as planning your meals ahead, buying only what you need, storing your food properly, and using leftovers creatively. By doing so, you can make the most of your food budget and enjoy a balanced and healthy diet. Low retail inflation may sound like good news for consumers, but it also comes with some challenges and risks. In this section, we will discuss how to plan your budget and spending wisely in times of low retail inflation and uncertainty. Retail inflation is the rate of change in the prices of goods and services that consumers buy. It affects how much money you have left after paying for your basic needs, such as food, clothing, housing, transportation, and health care. Retail inflation can be influenced by many factors, such as supply and demand, production costs, taxes, exchange rates, and global events. In April 2023, India's retail inflation eased to an 18-month low of 4.7%, staying well below the Reserve Bank of India's upper tolerance limit of 6% for the second consecutive month. This was mainly due to lower food prices and the base effect, which means that inflation was lower compared to a higher level in the same month last year. Low retail inflation can have some benefits for consumers, such as, it can increase your purchasing power, which means you can buy more goods and services with the same amount of money. It can reduce your cost of living, which means you can save more money or spend it on other things that you value. It can encourage economic growth, which means more jobs and income opportunities for you and others. However, low retail inflation can also have some drawbacks and dangers for consumers, such as, it can indicate weak demand and slow growth in the economy, which means less business activity and consumer confidence. It can reduce your income growth, which means your wages and salaries may not increase as much as you expect or need. It can increase your real debt burden, which means your loans and mortgages may become harder to repay as their value does not decrease with inflation. It can create deflationary expectations, which means you and others may postpone your spending and investment decisions in anticipation of further price declines. Therefore, it is important to plan your budget and spending wisely in times of low retail inflation and uncertainty. Here are some tips to help you do that. Track your income and expenses regularly and adjust your budget accordingly. You may need to cut down on some discretionary spending or find ways to increase your income if your cost of living is rising faster than your income. Save and invest for your short-term and long-term goals. You may need to diversify your portfolio and look for higher returns if your savings are losing value due to low interest rates or inflation. You may also need to build an emergency fund to cope with unexpected expenses or income shocks. Manage your debt responsibly and avoid taking on more debt than you can afford. You may need to pay off your high-interest debt first or refinance your loans if you can get better terms. You may also need to avoid borrowing for consumption purposes or speculative investments that may not pay off in the future. Shop around for the best deals and discounts on the goods and services that you need or want. You may be able to find lower prices or better quality if you compare different options or negotiate with sellers. You may also need to be flexible and adaptable to changing market conditions and consumer preferences.